Sup KBA Squad, welcome to my new YouTube channel for all things gaming. This is Last Shelter, and today we are going to talk about a little bit of an overdue video, but September P1's token shop for Senior Commander shop. You can see here we just have 2 days before September P2 refreshes, so I'll definitely upload a video on who follows after this. But you can see we have for Season X the Shadow, S3 Major Anastasia, and S2 the Knight. I'm going to talk a little bit on whether you should be dropping any of your hero tokens. For the majority of you, I will say this is going to be a pass on all three of these heroes. However, there may be some arguments that you may want to pick up Major Anastasia in S3 if you are yet to have her maxed. Running alongside those trio, we do have Frontline Medic, the Marketer, and Esquire, so it is largely possible for development heroes. Frontline Medic, I generally get 150 fragments from her in the hourlies. The Marketer has proved to be less important once you've sort of established base 25 and if you have multiple farms, so cash production isn't a problem. Esquire is much cheaper of the two since he is an epic development hero, but I will say he does help with the helicopter pad in terms of earlier drops and making them a little bit cheaper as well, including polymer crystals, Baneblade, super energy cores, and war badges. So while he is useful, other avenues that you should be spending your token. So first up, of course, we want to focus on Season X heroes. The last few refreshes have definitely delayed the inevitable of the high profile SX heroes that we are awaiting. We had Shadow, Glutton, Canoness, Wanderer before Shadow, so it hasn't really been that great in terms of the token shop for a couple of months now. But with the token shop refreshing within 2 days, there is a large chance we're going to see any of Rose Noire, Heaven's Redemption, Death Rider, Wrath, Kamikaze still to come, with any of Heaven's Redemption, Death Rider, and Wrath definitely worth picking up. So in terms of the Shadow, he is always going to be a byproduct in maybe some of the hero drops you'll be pulling in, or just the Eden group rewards that has Canoness, Heaven's Redemption, Wrath, generally pulling in that group. At some point you might be picking up Shadow or just from the drops. Should you be spending your tokens? Nope. You can see I have 3 copies of him. Many I know that have him maxed, and while there's a chance that I could max him, again, tokens should be spent for the most like meta changing and APC strengthening heroes, and Shadow is not one of them. Shadow is a frontline shooter hero. He has a high evasion, which you can play in the hero reconstruction, which is nice, but he's okay. Doesn't have that much high synergy with other heroes, and it makes still for a solid frontline shooter formation. But if you have the Kosher, he's going to give you a bit more in combat, force tiling, and just general effectiveness. Shadow is okay, but we don't want to be spending our tokens on okay heroes. We should be reserving these for the best, since we can handpick them as and when we want. So the Shadow largely pass. Major Anastasia, since we're in season 7 or 8 now, at some point you probably should have tried to get her maxed by now, whether that was in season 3 drops or any of the hero drops, or even your ticket rewards later on. She's worth picking up in the Doomsday shop, even though S3 generally costs 300,000, and I would only place her second behind Tech Priestess, since you'll largely be running vehicles. I found Major Anastasia to be much more regular for me, but Tech Priestess, if you of course have Wrath and any of that kind of meta combos, and then Tech Priestess is always going to be more favorable than Major Ana. Should you be picking her up in a token shop? Unless you have a crazy or at least a healthy amount of tokens that can see you through the next 2 or 3 like high profile SX heroes that you'll likely pick up over the coming months, then you can pick her up. She's definitely very useful, especially get a max in the Hopeness Lab. You can reconstruct her and makes great combos with Nomad, Death Rider, Huntress, Cyclone, Captain Ivanov Panther for the force tiling. So in terms of how relevant she is, she's still very up there and places very well in a variety of combos. So you definitely could, if you are low on tokens, just pick her up in the Doomsday shop, because being able to select the pre-SX hero rather than a random SX ticket is a better return, instead of picking up a pre-SX hero when you could pick up an SX hero in the token shop. So that's Major Anastasia. The Knight, you can just pass her. She is in Season 2, and while there are pre-SX heroes that do well, even from S2, she is not really one of them. Scarlet Siren and the new hero Flare are much bigger upgrades from the Knight, and I'm sure at some point, if you are trying a S2 ticket rewards, then you might get her. She's just not one of those heroes again that you want to be spending your tokens on. In S2 she was so and then late in this season, especially with more useful offensive heroes added to the Season X roster, yeah, you generally just want to avoid, although the Knight is not bad. So overall, most people should be passing on September P1, especially the Shadow. I'm sure some people are tired of seeing him, and when you're trying to go for some of the higher profile heroes, you end up with the Shadow. Yeah, just do it as a byproduct of ticket pools rather than consciously spending your hero tokens on him. So don't spend on Shadow. Major Anastasia is the only caveat. I would make a big exception for her if you have plenty of tokens. Haven't had your luck in pulling her from the Season 3 rewards. Doomsday coins for her in the shop is a much more better investment and return, rather than spending this for the Season X heroes that can make a real difference. And then the Knight, yeah, definitely pass. So September P1, and maybe for some of you that kind of needed to rebuild your hero tokens, is probably a blessing in disguise. Like for me, I have 5.3 tokens, so we'll see in 2 days who we get, and even if I spend it, then I'll be able to build up enough for a second SX hero if one of the high profile heroes like Death Rider, Heaven's Redemption pop up, and then we'll just have to see how things play out for the rest of the year. Sound off for the heroes you are awaiting in Token Shop and your prediction on who's going to come in 2 days. And I'll see you in the next video where we can get everything confirmed and share whether they are heroes worth your tokens. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, keep being awesome. Peace.